Hey guys, how you doing? Bob and I are sitting here enjoying the weather, enjoying the view. Man, is it pretty out there. Look at that, Bob. I don't see too many turtles, do you?
What's that?
I don't see too many turtles, do you?
No.
That's strange.
Our turtles are normally out.
Yeah, normally the logs would be filled by
There's
now.
one right there. One right there. He's in the water.
Oh. I was
Two of 'em
looking
right
over
there.
at the logs.
There's generally the log is full.
If you are joining us right now, we're sitting out on our deck just enjoying the view. So come hang out with us. You got, what are you drinking?
Same as you.
Oh, Propel? We got our Propel. Hey, Brian, how are you?
What's going on, Brian?
Welcome. We live on a lake. We live right at the curve at the end of a channel on our lake, one of the channels. So this is our view today. We're just sitting out on our deck at the patio furniture set here, and we're just hanging out. What are you up to? It's just too pretty of a day to be inside.
Turtles right here on that other side.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we do. Sure we do. Oh, thank you, Brian. Thank you. Yeah, we love the view. I don't know if you can see the there's let's see, right up there's some logs out there. I know it's kind of far away, but that's usually where we have all our turtles sunbathing, and for whatever reason, they're not sunbathing today. And I mean, they all get out on those logs and camp out, and they're not there right now. Maybe they'll come out after a bit. But we get all kinds of wildlife, as you can imagine. We live in a wooded area, so you're enjoying the warmer weather here in Virginia. Ah, nice. It's gotten warmer today. It's gonna get even. What's the temp?
I don't know what the temp is.
It's gonna get warmer. This is the week we're finally gonna not be cold. I don't think this week.
It is currently 74 degrees.
74 degrees, and we got a good breeze going on. Thank God for the breeze, because up here, up north, if we didn't have the breeze, it would actually feel like 82 degrees without the breeze, even though it's 74. But
Supposed to get to 86 tomorrow.
well, look over to your right, Bob. There's no breeze, but over to my side on the left, there's a breeze.
We're catching a little bit of breeze coming down the channel across the lake.
Yeah. I know, I do too, Brian. I am with you. Yeah, Bob and I just grabbed our Propel and came out here. Thought we would do a sit-down video. We haven't done one in so long. So that's what we're doing today. Just hanging out.
Yeah, one little turtle's just kind of chilling right there.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice.
Come out here and clean up some cobwebs.
Got lots to do. I want to put a plant, Bob, in that bicycle. I have yet to do that. I've got to measure that pot.
That's where your chipmunk was just at just a minute ago.
I've got to measure that pot so that when we go to the store and I look for a planter, I'm going to get the size I need. So, Yeah, we have fish in this lake. Oddly enough, Brian, you ready for this? The name of our lake is called Fish Lake. There you go.
It's a 254-acre lake, which you can't tell here because we're on the channel, but
Yeah, you guys can't. There's no way you can see, and we can't even see. We can only see the opening of the lake, of course, down ahead, because of all the trees and the way the setup is on this channel. Yeah, we really like it here. This is one of the big things that sold us on the house in general. Um,
and what I like about this lake, Brian, is it's considered a no wake lake. So you don't have to worry about going out fishing and worry about speedboats or jet skis or anything like that. All you got out there is a bunch of boats and pontoons out puttering around because you can't do any more than 10 miles an hour on this lake.
we're
Which-
eventually going to get a paddle boat. We had to pass up an opportunity before because we didn't have the money for it. But one of these days, we're going to get a paddle boat and get our exercise going. That's the goal. That's the plan. We're going to start out, and Bob needs a fishing boat. So we're going to start out with our little toys. We probably won't get a pontoon while we live here. I doubt. And then we've got to clean up the logs that are in the lake out there. Hi,
Oh,
Amy. Welcome.
She says she just got back from the clinic. No surgery is needed, but I am in a hard cast for 5 weeks.
Oh, wow, Amy. Well, okay, there is a silver lining that you don't have to have surgery, Amy. That's good that you didn't fracture it even worse than what you did because it probably would have required surgery. So that's good news. I mean, albeit a cast is not fun and it's itchy and scratchy and awful,
Especially in the summer months.
but the good news is no surgery. Yes. Yes, definitely keeping you in prayers for sure, Amy. And I'm just glad overall it wasn't worse than what it was, even though fractures of any kind, even if it was just a pinky finger, is horribly painful. I mean, it's as painful as a break. So, that breeze feels good. Oh, man. Feels good. And I see some bees. We're going to have to spray for some bees. We got some work to do. We're still
Get the insect killer
working. We're still working on everything, but
out. Kill some off.
hey, Carol Lee, welcome. Thank you guys for joining us. Bob and I are just hanging out. I thought about, what do you guys think about me having a little Q&A with Bobo here? It'll be fun, Bob.
Oh,
Can you
God.
just stand it? It'll be so much fun. You'll love it. Thank you, Amy. We sure like it. I mean, when we come out here, it's just as soon as you get out here, the only word I can come up with is peacefulness. We just literally, or maybe relaxation. And this is where last year I would always come out here when I was stressed out. I would just step out here and my whole vibe would change because you just can't come out here and not have peace. It's just so peaceful here. So it's kind of like a getaway, but literally just us stepping out of our door. It literally feels somewhat of a getaway. So for me, it's very needed, and I'm very thankful.
Well,
As you guys,
it'll be nice once we get the deck redone, and then the deck lighting out here.
yeah, we're gonna add some more things to the deck, and then I'll be doing a video. If you're wondering why I'm not invoicing right now, I did start, but I got to tell you a little story.
Oops.
Here's the story. I had 6 loaves of banana bread when I started the auction, I had Bob cut the heat. Well, they weren't done, and I knew they weren't done, but I thought if they stayed in the oven with it still being hot, that they would get done because they didn't need much longer. Well, this is what happened. What happened was they deflated and they looked awful to me. And I want, when my banana bread goes out, I want it to look better than it did. And two of them were not done all the way. They were too mushy. I could not sell them even if I wanted to. So I'm like, when we got up this morning, it was run to the store, get more ingredients, and we redid the banana bread. It is in the oven. It's been in the oven for a little while now. Not done yet because it takes about 2.5 hours. So that is why I have come to a halt in the invoicing. So I said, let's take a break, head outside, and just chill. So you are getting ultra fresh banana bread, not like it wasn't fresh before, because it was the day before, but it's in the oven and it will get all the way done. I'm not going to cut the heat. It's going to go all the way through. So, Carol Lee, yours is one of the banana breads in there, and we're eating the deflated ones. Bob and I already pour into it. Oh, guys, the blueberry and raspberry ones are so good. They have now become one of my favorite of the banana bread line. Yeah, that and the banana split. I love these banana breads. And I love the berry ones. I'm gonna say, yeah. So, Carol Lee, yeah, we got banana bread going. And then as soon as it's done, we have to cool it in the refrigerator, of course. And then I can finish invoicing. So we're at a standstill for at least another hour and a half, 2 hours, probably 2 hours total, at least. So that's why we're out here. And I've been drinking a lot of Propel. So Bob and I are having Propel instead of coffee. Normally we would come out here with our coffees, but we got our Propel going. So
I already had my coffee this morning. I'm good.
yeah, Bob had his coffee. I haven't had any coffee. I've been doing really good about that, but I still love having coffee every now and then. So yeah. Oh yeah, do a video of the pole barn right now. It's gonna be a while on that video because the pole barn is a complete mess. We got a cabinet out there we still haven't finished, and we have a desk, and we have all kinds of tools everywhere. So we have yet to clean that up because
We can do a video of the outside of the pole barn.
yeah, we have, that's a mess in of itself that we have to tend to. That, my studio, and our other bedroom. Those three parts of the house are a hot mess and have to be redone. But we will definitely do them. I want to do a video anyway of other things, and we'll definitely have to do
once
that.
we get everything put away and organized and stuff, we'll do videos of the pole barn, inside of the pole barn.
Aw, Carol Lee.
We'll do-
Amy. I'm glad. And Carol Lee, I know you well enough to know, and I literally, I don't think I said it to Bob, but literally when I looked at your deflated one, I said in my head, Carol Lee, I know would not complain at all. But it's like, you can ask Bob this. When it comes to baking and cooking, I get very OCD and more of a perfectionist. I lived with a dad who, if you made him food, it had to be perfect or else. He was going to blow up and he was going to pitch a fuss and all that. And literally, it would tear my heart in two because I love to cook and bake. And whenever I would have to cook and bake for him, I dreaded it in one sense because I felt like it was never going to be good enough. So literally, I used to be the type, if I would bake a pie, and when the pie's getting done, if you don't have any vent holes in the top of the pie, it'll crack on you. Well, I was young and I was just beginning to teach myself how to bake um, when I was married, and I pulled the pie out. There was nothing wrong with it, but I didn't put the vent holes in, and it formed a crack in the top of the pie. I literally took that pie and I chucked it in the trash because that wasn't good enough. There was a crack. I thought something was wrong. I did something wrong, and I chucked it and remade it. And that's kind of how I was, raised that way. So I have to watch myself. I'm trying not to be hard on myself when I bake and cook for everybody. But still to this day, after all these years, I get kind of hard on myself. And I'll see some flaw and I'll say, no, that's not good enough. And I'll redo it. It's just like in bread in me. It's a weird thing, but unfortunately, I still can't shake it. Yes, I know. I haven't done a deck video in so long, Carolee. I've been wanting to do it, and I love it out here. It's just peaceful. Um, it's getting for us Northerners, 74 degrees is hot. We got a little bit of a breeze, but it's pretty warm for us up here.
Ask them if they got any questions for.
Yeah, we were gonna do a Q&A because I've got Bob here. Is there any questions you would like to ask either one of us? And we'll try to answer it. We need some more Propel, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I do know you, Caroline, and I know, and even Amy, I can safely say, if I sent you a deflated, you know, banana bread, I know you'd be understanding. But see, when I look at the deflation, it's not just the look of it. The look of it to me looks bad. But then I go, I know exactly what the problem was. It didn't bake long enough. My banana breads, I bake low and slow because they are majorly thick. If I turn up the heat even 50 more degrees, it's going to burn the outside or darken it to the point where it's not going to look very good. And the inside will still be mushy. And so I'm that much of a hard head when it comes to baking that literally you guys' banana bread takes at least 2.5 hours, sometimes close to 3, because I want to make sure it's done all the way through. Does it, Amy? Here's the key, guys, to if you're making banana bread, and it doesn't matter that it's not my recipe. It could be any recipe when it comes to banana bread. When you're baking it and you're checking on it, when you see it fluff up and it puffs up, that's your sign it doesn't need to bake too much more. But if it just fluffs up and just puffs up, it's still not done yet. You got to let it go another 15 minutes at least. That is the key. Here's the thing. If you're baking banana bread, like I said, mine did puff up, but I could tell it didn't puff up fully. So I knew that it would deflate if I would have yanked them out. So I said, Bob, it should finish baking all the way through. Just leave it in the oven. Because he asked me if I wanted to leave it in the oven or take them out. I said, no, you got to leave them in the oven because they're not quite done.
Amy loves
But
the mushy.
yeah, I mean, it's good. So far, I mean, I will thank you guys for the feedback. And even if it was, let's say, Dawn, I wish it would have been a little more stiffer or a little more mushy or a lighter color. I embrace criticism. Don't feel like you can't say, Dawn, it tasted good, but if there is anything that you don't like, feel free to mention it. Carolee knows this about me well enough to know, and I think Amy does by now too. I accept, um, fair criticism. I don't expect people to think that it's perfect. I don't go into it thinking that. It's just my mindset about my own work. Before I send it to you guys, it has to reach a certain level, if that makes any sense. Question: where did you go on your first date? Okay, now the first date,
Oh boy, that was so long ago.
I want to say, okay, and you can correct me, Bob, because I could be wrong on this, but I want to say this. It was actually a morning date, if I recall. Bob and I, at the time when I met Bob, I was job looking, and I had just moved in the apartment in a house in back of the red house that he lived in that eventually I moved into with him. And the apartment wasn't furnished and all this, and Bob was helping me here and there when he could. And I think it was the first or second day of knowing him, he said, I can help you. I can get you a job today. So don't even worry about it. And he got me a job at a restaurant. Now, he was a truck driver then, but he wasn't working at FedEx. He was working at another joint and driving for another place. And he would work it was called the Panther. It was a truck stop restaurant, just a small diner truck stop restaurant with a big driveway for all the truckers to park their semis. And he worked there on the weekends as a cook, and he got me a job, and I was a waitress. And then later on, I became a waitress, a cook, a dishwasher. I did it all because I wound up working 7 days a week because I wanted to. I wanted to make that money and, afford my own place and hurry up and get things that I needed, furniture and stuff for it. So I think our first date, I know this is kind of a long story, but if I recall right, he took me, it was for breakfast. He came up and got me, and we went and had breakfast at the restaurant. And that was actually, it wasn't a night date. If I recall, that was our first
That's when I
date.
took you to meet Bernie.
Yeah. So, yeah, we went for breakfast. It was a morning date, if you will. And it was at the place. That's when she met me, the owner, and I got the job and I was all elated. So, yes, it's great getting to know all you guys. I love it. So yeah, this is
Shirley has another question.
okay. What is your favorite Christmas tradition? Now, boy, I have a couple that I like. One of, I think safely to say, Bob and I's favorite is we started when the kids were young. I mean, when we first started, probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 years after seeing each other. I think what happened was I came up with this tradition that we started where instead of a turkey and instead of a ham, we would have a prime rib as far as the meat goes for our Christmas dinner. And that is still one of my favorites as far as it just, it made it different. It made the dinner different than everybody else's because you go to grandparents or mom and dad's, or you go to somebody else's Christmas and they still had the turkey or the ham or both. We wanted to change it up, and so we went with the prime rib. That's one of my favorites. And then another one, let's see, I know one of them, it goes back to cooking. It's weird for me. Um, I like making, I think it's called wassail, Wassail. That is the hot apple cider. Um, and I make it with oranges and apples and cinnamon, and I put spices in it, and I cook it in a pot over the stove. And I like to have the wassail during Christmas. Um, it because it scents up the whole house and it smells divine. If you have never made hot apple cider with spices and fruit, it just makes your whole entire house smell so good. So that is one of my favorite things, I guess, for me personally, like tradition that I like to do. Bob, what's one of your favorite traditions? Trying to think of, because there's
I just
different
love
things.
spending time with the family. Having
Yeah.
all the kids come over and grandkids, and it's chaotic.
But yeah, Bob and I, this is one thing I like about Bob is that we both like to put out a spread and have parties and get togethers. We like to invite people to our home. We like to, you know, give everybody a good home cooked meal and have them chill out at the house and, come out to the deck and hang out with us.
Fire up the old Barbie and cook some steaks. Or,
Yeah, yeah, we love that. Yes, in the fall, yes. The hot apple cider, yes. I mean, fall for me is one of my favorite times of the year because you can just literally smell the change in the air, not just visually, but visually it's so pretty with all the up here where we live, we get all the different colors of the leaves on the trees. We get the yellows, the oranges, the reds, the golds, the brown, the vibrant like spring green color leaves during the fall. We get it all. Especially one thing I miss about Michigan is that state is one of the most beautiful states that you can ever visit during the fall. It just is, hands down. Because Michigan has a lot of trees and it has some hills, not the kind of hills like Tennessee and Kentucky hills. I mean, we have some, but it's smaller hills, but it's a lot of trees and just the beauty of it. And yes, hot apple cider during the
especially,
fall.
especially the farther up north you go, they have more hills and trees up there. It's just absolutely beautiful up there.
Yeah. Now I'm going to ask Bob a question,
Yo.
just a random question. Oh, it's not bad. Don't worry. I'll tell you to put your seatbelt on when it gets bad.
Okay.
What is one of the scariest things you've ever done?
One of the scariest things I've ever done.
Yeah. And I don't even think I know this. So,
You know, when we first started going to Cedar Point, I was petrified to get on roller coasters.
I know what one you're going to bring up. I know what story now.
I was petrified to get on roller coasters. And then you insisted that I ride roller coasters with you. And I will, as God is my witness, I will proclaim this. I swear the first couple roller coasters Dawn ever got me on, I swear I was going to pee my pants because I never thought I was a big roller coaster thing. But after I got that initial fear, it was like, okay, Dawn, let's go ride this one. Let's go ride this one. And I always wanted to ride the highest, fastest roller coasters. And they have a roller coaster there at Cedar Point called the Millennium. And that first hill on that roller coaster, you're going so slow off it.
That's the worst
And you
part.
look to the left, and all you can see is the Great Lake. And Dawn's sitting there with her eyes closed.
I'm white knuckling it. Okay.
She's got her hands gripped on the handle in front of us. Just
Terrified.
no circulation, no blood flowing through her hands because she was gripping that bar so hard.
And guess what Bob
And
does?
Hey, Dawn, look out over there, man. Look at those boats. It's so cool, man.
I could have killed him. Yeah, that, and he would also do we're 7,500 feet up in the air, and this thing goes 35 miles per hour. I'm like, shut up, shut up, shut up. Why the heck are you? I don't want to hear statistics, which when I'm going up that high at such a slow pace, and I'm gripping, like I said, white knuckling it. And if you were to see my face, just envision my face with the most terrified look, but me being silent, because whenever I go through a scary time in my life, I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk about it. I just want to brace myself and get through it. That's what type of person I am if I'm
Now,
going through
I've got
something
another
scary.
funny story.
And he's sitting there shouting out all the statistics in the world about this roller coaster. Oh, it's made totally out of wood. And shut up. I don't want to hear it. Why are you telling me this? I could kill you.
They had a roller coaster at Cedar Point. They upgraded it since Dawn and I've been there last, but it was called the Top Thrill Dragster.
Oh, yeah. This story is funny.
And this roller coaster, they put you out on the launch pad, and then they'd launch you at 120 mile an hour,
Straight up.
410 feet. You do a quick loop-de-loo and straight down 410 feet. The whole ride was only 26 seconds. Dawn and I had rode it many times. Well, this time we got in line.
No, it was the first time. No, this was the first time I took you on.
Time?
Yep.
Dawn says, I want to ride the front car.
I was
said,
the
Are
adventure.
you sure?
Hi, Kathy.
I am sure I want to ride in the front car. Okay. Well, they put us in the front car. They put us out on the launch pad. Dawn turns and looks at me with this puzzled look on her face going, I have nothing to hold on to.
No
There's
shoulder
no seatbelt.
straps. There's only one skinny metal bar, laying on your lap. You have nothing to hang on to. And I was like, oh, crap.
And I looked at her and I said, well,
we're going to die.
Kind of too late now.
We're going to die.
It's kind of too late now because here we go.
And I mean,
I was laughing the whole time. Dawn was grabbing anything she could. I think she grabbed my leg.
well, I was sweating so bad, my hands were, that I couldn't even hang on to the bar in front of me. So right at that point, Bob was scared, and he was literally mad at me for taking him on that ride. And then we go up, and he's shouting to the top of lungs and putting up his hands. And I said, are you mad? Like, in my head, I'm like, are you mad? Like, look, buddy, I can't save you because, okay, in this ride, literally, it lifts you. You're going straight up and straight down. You are lifted out of your seat somewhat. Now, I'm a big girl. And to get me lifted off that seat, I felt like I was going to fall out of it, literally, because you feel like it.
Peter Pan.
Needless to say, I'm not going back on that ride. That's the one ride.
Now they've upgraded it.
Yeah, I'm not going on it. That is the one
They
ride.
launch you straight up 400 feet. Then it goes reverse.
Oh,
backwards.
no, we ain't doing the
100.
reverse. Now,
Then
see,
they
we're
launch
not.
you again.
No, I'm not going on it.
And it's called the Top Thrill Dragster.
I am a
too.
big adventurer, guys. That's what it is. I'm a kid at heart. So that is my playground. And every year after that, Bob would take me to Cedar Point at least once a year, sometimes twice or 3 times. Now, we haven't been back to Cedar Point in I don't know how many years. I was back at Cedar Point the last. Now, Cedar Point is the second largest amusement park, if I remember right, in the U.S. And it is located in a town called Sandusky, Ohio. So we have to drive 3 hours just to get to Cedar Point. And
It would be farther now.
yeah, now it's going to be further from us. It's probably 3 hours and 45 minutes or something. Who
Yeah.
knows? I mean,
Amy has a question.
okay. Carol Lee had one back up. Let's back it up.
Where is your favorite place to travel to?
Okay. Now, this is easy for me, and I bet you Bob and I might agree. Well, as far as a specific place, okay. Bob, what's yours?
There really is no specific place. South.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Bob and I agree on one thing. We took a couple of vacations down south, all the way down to
I want
Florida,
to go to
Florida
I wanna go
and
to Pigeon
Texas.
Forge.
And we had the best time. I mean, there were some incidents that were, but anyway, us driving down south, there's something about it where I feel like I'm going home. I could easily live down south, and I'm not talking clear down to Florida or Texas. I'm talking, I've always loved Tennessee and Kentucky. And I love Georgia too. When I go to those states, I just feel like I'm at home
What
and I
was the
need to
name of
stay
that,
there.
Cavern we went through that.
Ruby Hills or Ruby Falls?
Ruby Falls.
We went to, I think it was in Tennessee, we went to Ruby Falls Cavern. If you look it up, it's a cavern. So it's an basically a huge cave, if you will. And they put lights in different locations where you see natural stone. You know, you see the natural quartz and the amethyst and different things. And it's lit up. Now, I'm claustrophobic. I was diagnosed with extreme claustrophobia. It took me many years to even get to where I could handle being in an ER room, one of those small rooms where they shut the door. So I went into this cave, and this is back when the claustrophobia was really extreme. And I said, Bob, here's the deal. We took my two youngest, Mercedes and Jonathan, and they were young at the time. And I said, if I have to leave, you guys finish the tour. I'm just gonna back out. Well, the little path through the caverns they're so skinny, literally you can barely get around a line of people that are, doing the tour. I am so proud of myself to say I did not have a claustrophobia attack.
No, you did really good.
I did really good, but I tell you, once we got to towards the end, I was telling Bob, okay, the panic is starting to set in. We need to hurry up and get out before I have a panic attack. And so we were trying to hustle it, but we had a tour guide. And like I said, we couldn't get around people. So I was stuck there. And I said, if you have to resuscitate me or something, I mean, just be prepared.
Amy wants to know, do they have shopping in Cedar Point?
Oh,
I will be shopping.
yeah. Oh, they have tons of shopping. Oh, what we used to do, what we liked
Shopping
the
and
most.
restaurants.
I tell you what we liked the most doing. We would go to the ice skating shows. It was mega hot there when we would go. We'd try to go in the spring or the fall towards the end where it was cooler. But there were times we went in the dead of summer like dummies, and it was
95
scalding
degrees
hot.
out and
There were times it was over 100. But usually it was in the 90s in the dead of summer. And we would keep on, I mean, multiple times we would go to the ice skating show. Now, you didn't have to pay extra. And we went there because they had a air conditioned building, and they would shut the doors and we could get cooled off.
Snoopy on Ice or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And it was a small little skating rink, but boy, we enjoyed the show, and we enjoyed the fresh air conditioned building. Let me go back up to Carol Lee's question, Bob.
We answered it. I looked.
Oh, we did? Carol Lee's.
Her last. What is your favorite Christmas tradition? Is her last question.
Oh, okay.
I saw.
But yes, they have shopping. And before you get to Sandusky, what's the name of that little town that starts with a P? There's a little town that starts with a P on the way to Sandusky, and they have a big building where they do all kinds of specialty homemade cheeses, kind of like I picture it would be in Wisconsin. And you would go in there and they had their cheeses, and we would there.
I don't know.
Yeah. Animals. Oh, and we always go there. I want to feed the animals. Well, the first time we went, they have, I mean, we're talking water buffalo. They had, which is, it's the
Zebra.
buffalo. Okay. A water buffalo, if you look it up, it's the buffalo. You know those Highland cows that have the long hair in their eyes? Well, these are the buffalo that has the long curly hair all over its body and it dangles in front of their eyes where they can't really see. They had zebras, they had all kinds of more safari like animals, and they were in, I don't know how many acres, maybe, I think it was just 2. I don't think it was any more than 2 acres, right? It seemed like it was rather small. Anyway, of all these different animals. And you drive, it's a driving petting zoo, if you will. And but you can literally pet the animals as you're driving by, and you can't get out. You gotta stay in the vehicle. And you can roll down your window, you can buy a bag of carrots and different veggies and feed the animals. Well, guess what? Hi, Irina. Welcome. We would pet these animals, and we came up to the big old water buffalo, and I think they only had one of them. He had the big old horns and the whole 9 yards. He's a big boy. And I had, I think, the carrots to feed him. And so I rolled down the window, but I was kind of nervous. We had a van at the time because we had our young kids, and we had a van. And it was the ugliest van I'd ever seen. But anyway, I'll get sidetracked. So we won't talk about that. But this water buffalo came up, and it was sort of almost goring, not quite purposely goring our van, but like it was going to. And I said, Bob, I don't know. I don't want to get stabbed with one of these horns. So I rolled it down like cautiously, and I fed him a bite or two. And then I'm like, well, he can't really get in here. I'm going to have to roll down the window a little bit more. Dumb, dumb, dumb. Okay. That big old thing stuck his big old head, and my head's pretty big. Okay. His head is about 10 times the size of my head with the horns. I screamed bloody murder because he was in my lap. And he had the horns, and I thought I was going to get gored. Bob's dying laughing. And I'm over here. I could have been killed, right? I could have been gored to death. I could have had my eyes gored out of my head, literally. And good old Bob, instead of, hey, I'll protect you, knight in shining armor. No, I don't have that. I have somebody laughing his fool head off at me because I've got a water buffalo totally in the car and can't get him out. And I don't know how to get him out. And I'm talking to him like, come on, buddy, you can do it. Like, please just get out. I'm so scared of you. Like, I'm trying, but I'm trying to like talk calm so he doesn't sense my fear. But I screamed bloody murder. Let's start there. Oh, that was a moment. I'm like, okay, lesson learned. We don't roll down the windows for big, gigantic animals who could eat us.
You had to change your shirt because you had water buffalo drool all
Oh,
over
I had the drool. I was like, that was the least of my concerns. I felt like I was near death. Okay. I chalked that up to a near death experience, shouldn't we? I mean, he just wanted the food. He literally took the bag out of my hand, and I was like submissive. I was like, okay, here you go. Have it, take it, like, get it out of here. Yeah, that was a moment
that's the time we saw that zebra giving birth.
Well, there's a zebra, and there was also another, not a sheep, but there was another animal that gave birth. And I told Bob, wouldn't it be great if we watched a live birth? And as soon as I started, I could tell there was some animal. It wasn't a deer, but it was something about the size of a deer giving birth. I said, Bob, it's giving birth. Stop. And instead of proceeding, people had to drive around us and they were annoyed. But I broke out my phone and started taking video and pictures because I wanted to catch the live birth. So I definitely got to do that. But that was a moment. So whenever we go there, if we were to go back, we're going to go there again. I've learned my lesson that animals with big old horns who could gore your eyes out don't roll down the window completely. I mean, it wasn't completely, but still, I'm surprised. Yeah, because it wasn't completely. It was like halfway down, but somehow he got his. I don't even know how he did it.
You had
But-
food.
Gosh, I was scared to death. And of course, I loved him. You know how I am, guys, with animals. And I was at first talking all baby talk, like, oh, here, come here, buddy. You're so cute. And then when he stuck his head in there, I was like fearing for my
He
life.
wasn't cute anymore.
I was having a come to Jesus moment pretty quick. We can say that.
I think Donna had to change her shorts.
Yeah, that was an experience. So yeah,
That was fun though.
it was fun. I mean, now I can laugh at it safely because I lived and I didn't have to have major surgery, to repair arteries or something.
No,
So,
Cedar Point also has a big water park too.
yeah, yep. So, Urena, how are you doing? How's everybody doing? Kathy, how are you? I'm glad you're here. We're just chit-chatting. And if you have any questions for Bob or I, feel free. We're waiting for banana bread literally to get done baking, so we got time.
We'll be going in here in a few minutes.
Yeah, we're going to go in a few minutes, but if you have another question, just go ahead and put it out there in the chat.
Don't be shy. You know what we should do is take that camera down here in the corner of the house and show that flower and see if anybody knows what it is.
Yeah, we should.
Amy's trying to think of more questions.
Yeah, well, if you don't have any, that's okay too, guys. We just thought, since we're together and sometimes people have questions for us that we can answer them. Yeah, we're really surprised there's not hardly any turtles on those logs. I don't know if they must all be in the water and just swimming
I'm
around.
seeing them.
Yeah. So.
I wish that crap would clear up.
Yeah, we always get this channel filled with algae during the summer, and then when winter is almost here,
Oh, hi,
it
Steph.
clears up. Hi, Stephanie. How are you? Oh yeah, I hear you there. Yeah, we're getting our vitamin D in. I didn't even think about that. We got the big umbrella, as you guys can see, opened up just to give us a little bit of shade because it is rather hot today over here. But
Very hot today.
yeah. Oh, cool, Kathy. Awesome. How's it going, Steph? Yeah, we're going to be, as time goes on, we haven't got flowers up yet, guys, so I can't show you flowers because Bob and I are stalled because we've been having to make a bunch of repairs on our cars and we're not done yet. Bob and his friend worked on my car, like I said yesterday, and it's not runnable. It's still not done yet because there were multiple things that were wrong with it. So we got to wait for more parts to come in. We got one coming in today at some point this afternoon, and then we got to work on his car. So we've kind of stalled on that. What are you guys doing? What are our guys doing? That's a good question. I will say, Steph, it would have to be on a Saturday.
Oh yeah.
Can you guys swing it Like it'd have to be a Saturday evening too. More specific. Is there any way he could do it Saturday evening? Because that's about the only time Bob has free to do it. So yeah, that would be my suggestion. Yeah, I understand that. Oh, that was a dragonfly. That's a pretty blue one.
No, we got everything out here flying around us.
Yeah, we have some weird looking big bugs like wasp, almost like medieval looking wasps. They're not normal. I don't know what they are though. Yeah, Saturday evening,
Probably not this weekend.
not this weekend. Okay. Yeah, because we would want to plan it. Yeah, not this weekend because Bob's got to volunteer and work this weekend. Probably could you do it next weekend?
I just won't volunteer.
Yeah. Next weekend, if you guys are okay with
They
that
can't force
stuff,
me to work.
that would be doable.
All right, I'm in the wrong spot.
Well, come over to this chair over here. Plus, you'd be closer to the phone anyway. That way they could hear you better, probably.
Oh
But yeah, we will be going in ourselves here in a little bit because, like I said, we got the banana bread finishing up, and then I can finish the invoicing. But we just had a standstill waiting for the bread to get done. Stephanie, I was telling the folks that we made 6 loaves of banana bread yesterday, and most of them deflated, and I was picky about how they looked. So we remade a fresh batch. So, and yours are in there, Carolee's is in there, and TJ's. So they are currently baking right now. And that, so they're going to be ultra fresh for you guys. And we're going to cool them down in the freezers, and then I'm going to invoice. And so thank you. I mean, I know Carolee said she wouldn't have cared if she would have got one of the deflated ones, and I'm sure you probably wouldn't have cared. But to me, it also didn't look. It's the reason why banana breads. I was telling the folks, if they deflate on you, that means they're not through baking. They need to bake longer. So when your banana bread, if you're making banana bread at home, guys, when it puffs up, you don't just yank it as soon as it puffs up. You gotta let it puff up, but then brown up on top, and then it's done. If you cook it, bake it low and slow like I do. I have a method to the madness, and it works. And so, I'm kind of rigid about it. But yesterday, I had Bob kill the heat because he was going to come and help me with the auction. And I didn't want him to forget the banana bread. Well, I should have let it go longer, like I knew it needed to go longer, and just had him, after, 20 minutes go and check them and yank them, but I didn't. And that's why they deflated. So thank you, Steph. And I appreciate you guys as well for understanding. I mean, it's just that I don't want to send any banana bread that looks like it, I don't know, somebody smashed it in, or it looks pathetic or whatever. I want to send it when it looks good, not just tastes good. Kind of particular on that. Yeah, and I'm sure you would have, Stephanie. And it's not that I thought any of you would be hard on me about it. I'm hard on myself about when I bake these banana breads. I'm really critical about it. Like, not only do I want it to taste really good as it can be, but I want it to look edible too. I don't want you to get it and say, well, I know it's going to be good, but it really doesn't look edible, Dawn. I just didn't want one of those moments. And um it just, for me personally, it drove me nuts looking at it. And plus, like I said, there were two of them that was total, it was still super, I mean, mushy to where it just wasn't done. And it's got to be thoroughly baked all the way through, because you're talking there's eggs in there, and it has to be baked all the way through. It just has to be. I don't want anybody getting salmonella or any kind of anything. So it's really critical for me to do it as perfect as I can. So you know what I mean? I have to make sure that it's done. So yeah, it's just one of those things where I'm pretty particular about the way I send it out. No, they're not perfect in the grand scheme of things, of course not, but I want them to not be the worst thing you've looked at. I guess I should say, you know. But so we are eating the deflated ones, and I tell you what, those of you that picked the banana breads that have berries of any kind in there, oh my gosh, is it good? And these are berries. I mean, they're not fresh out of our garden. We don't have raspberries, but they're fresh as far as right from the store, and they've been cleaned and cut up and all that. And I tell you what, Bob even likes the berry ones now. I'm glad you guys suggested the berry ones because they're
The blueberry
really
raspberry
good.
is to die for.
Yeah, the blueberry raspberry. Oh my gosh. And even just the blueberry is so good. So I think you guys are gonna be um I think you guys are gonna be thrilled about the berries because I mean I mean here again, I can't judge. I mean that's up to you, but um at least to Bob and I it tasted really good with the berries. So I'm happy about that these new flavors. I think they're definitely worth trying, guys. And I'm not just saying that. Like I said, I think they definitely one of my favorites for sure.
Any more questions?
Berries are so good. Yeah, they really are. And Bob and I have noticed that we cut back on our butter because we can eat the banana bread without butter. Now, Bob and I were diehard people that would put butter no matter what flavor, no matter what, on our banana bread, right? And we've grown to where we can literally just sit and
Questions
eat
for
the
Bob.
banana bread. Okay, shoot. We got a question for Bob.
Uh-oh.
I hope it's a good one because I'm going to.
How long have I been what? Trucking? Oh. I've been trucking for 39 years. Can you believe it? 39 years.
And how many companies total?
4, 5. 5 different companies. Yep. This year will make 40 years on the road.
Yeah, a good long time. So this is what he's been doing for
Who did
years.
I start with? Well, I first started with a small excavation company, and then I went to a small company. It was called Michigan Delivery Service, and we were contracted by Sears and Roebuck, and we would do home deliveries for them. But I ran their tractor trailers, going from store to store, picking up merchandise, going to the warehouses. I would run from Jackson down to Cincinnati quite a bit, dropping off trailers, picking up trailers. I would run from Jackson, Michigan up northern Michigan up to catalog stores, dropping off trailers. All over.
Oh, wow, Kathy. The same trucking company for 32 years. That's awesome.
I've been with FedEx now for 9 years, and I don't plan on going anywhere. I'm getting too old to play job jump, and I'd make a good living doing what I do, and I just wish it wasn't on nights. Wish we could get back on the day shift. And I wish our neighbors didn't have 2 beagles.
Yeah,
There's the mail lady.
Oh, yep, we're getting our mail.
Maybe we're gonna get our parts.
Yep, we're supposed to.
I can't imagine how big enough, small enough to fill a mailbox.
We got a gigantic mailbox. We got an oversized, extra large mailbox.
What is my favorite and least thing about trucking? My favorite thing about trucking is freedom. I mean, once I leave my terminal, going to my next terminal, I'm my boss. I'm my own boss. I'm the captain of my ship. The least favorite thing about trucking, I would have to say all the stupid people on the road that think that you're in this rig that's, 70 feet long, and you can stop it on a dime. They want to cut you off to jump off their next exit, or that's Dawn hears my road rage when she's on the phone with me, and she said, you should be used to it by now. And she's right. I should be used to it by now, but it still irritates me because people just don't have consideration for the big trucks on the highway. And, we're just trying to do a job. I know, yes, we're moving slower than what you can move in your car. So, just give us patience, and we'll get out of your way as soon as we can, just sit there behind you, flashing your brake lights on and off in my mirror so I can't see where, to change lanes and stuff. And it's just the amount of, I guess the only way I can put this is the amount of stupid on the highway is getting worse and worse every year. And that's the one thing I don't like about my job.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, because, I've been with him for so long, I always have patience for the truckers. I always give them, when they have the right of way, I don't try to cut them off, and I don't try to, even if I'm late and let's say I'm trying to book it home because I think I'm going to be late starting my auction, I will still let the semi, I'm not going to cut them off. I'm just not. And ever since I've been with him, I'm more particular about how I treat a trucker. I don't ever cut them off ever. Even if I'm in a big yank to get home for whatever reason, even if it's not an auction, I just don't. I let him go ahead. I have the patience to wait until I've got ample room to get around him, and I'm not going to make him slam on his brakes because I know that. And when he worked for a company, it used to be called Conway Freight, and then new ownership took over, and now it's called XPO. So if you see the truckers, the trailers that are marked XPO, it used to be a trucking company called Conway back in the day. And he worked for both companies. Right when it changed over to XPO years ago is when he got out of it and started at FedEx. Well, 9 years ago, 10 years ago. I mean, he had a little time off. So that was 10 years ago that they switched over to XPO. And Bob, I met him at his terminal that he was working out of in Jackson one day, and he had me get behind the wheel of the truck, just the truck. It didn't have a trailer attached to it, and have me just drive around to the other side of the parking lot. And back then, they didn't have the automatics; they just had the shifters. And I'm telling you what, they have how many different shifts on one of them?
We had 10 speeds.
10.
Yeah.
Okay, it felt like it was 20. Anyway, yeah. I drove it and I did good and I didn't do anything stupid or scary or anything. And I parked it and I said never, because he always used to say, "Why don't you get out on the road with me and why don't you drive?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no, this is not my speed here. This is not my gig. No." He's like, "You should, the money, the money, the money." I'm like, "No." And when I drove it, I said, "That's exactly why. I would be scared for everybody on the road if I had to drive one of them." Uh,
Now,
so I mean,
I
no,
was saying about stupid people on the road in cars, but let me rephrase that. I mean, there are stupid truck drivers out there too.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, there
it's a
are.
shame anymore that anybody and their brother can get a CDL. All you gotta do is pass the test and pay the money. There's a lot of guys out there driving these big trucks that shouldn't be. And I think that right there is what scares me the most on the road. Is you get these guys that think they're evil Knievel in a big truck and go flying past you 75 mile an hour. I watched a guy drive right off the highway the other night right into the ditch because he was either probably texting on his phone or something. And it was like, if that's where you're going to be, that's a good place for you right there, because, you're driving something big enough to kill people, kill yourself, do great harm to people. I mean, it's kind of like, you have control of something. I don't know. Yeah, Stephanie, I agree with that statement. There is a difference between a trucker and a truck driver.
Yeah, and I will say now, Bob, obviously, he's just like any other trucker, because they drive more hours than most people do a day. When they get tired, they have a certain amount of leeway to pull off the road, like 10 minutes or 15 minutes to pull off the road and get a little cat nap to try to revive themselves. And he does that all the time because, yes, he still starts feeling himself falling asleep at the wheel and he has to pull over and he has to nap.
Please.
He tells me all the time. It's really every week they have to. Because the sheer amount of hours. Now, they get their 10 hours off in between their runs, but the thing of it is if you're like us and you don't live 5 minutes from the terminal, you live further away.
Yeah.
First of all, things that cut down that 10 hours is they have to stop, they have to clean the truck, fuel it. There's things they have to do, the paperwork and the signing off their little dyads, which is a little computerized almost tablet, right? Where you clock in and clock out, and each time you have a via, is where when Bob is at one terminal, like he goes to Indy every night, so he'll go to Indy, which is Indianapolis, Indiana, and they'll say, "Okay, Bob, grab your trailers and you're heading to Jackson, Michigan, or wherever." That's a via where they add on a trip before he goes to his home terminal in Fremont, Indiana. So it's a lot of driving to where he's had to take naps every week, because if he doesn't, he will get in an accident. It's going to happen, you know? So that's kind of the life of a trucker, especially if it's now there's some truck driving gigs that you can get that aren't as many hours, more city runs or whatever. Um, but city runs, that's the type of truck driving where you don't get out at the same time every night. Well, Bob doesn't, even the freight driving, but um, you might be held up at a city run for 2 more hours because the workers at the facility you're dropping off the trailer to that have to unload the trailer, they don't actually come out to unload it for an hour or two because they're lazy or they're doing something else or whatever. So if he were a city driver, there would be another level of frustration with city driving that he doesn't have doing the nighttime driving because he doesn't see his customers, whereas city drivers, you see your customers. And
Our turtles are
it's
coming out.
different. Oh, the turtles are coming out. They're
Yep, there's
coming
3 out
to
there.
lay on the logs.
They're coming out of the water and coming right below. Ooh, what was that? They just jumped over there.
Yes, Stephanie, he does that. He does let me know in a chat because he knows I'm not looking at my phone like the texts. And especially like if it's something emergency or something fairly urgent that he needs me to know, he'll say something in the chat like, Dawn, look at your texts. And yeah.
Here lately, Indy's been sending me somewhere every night. I've been going to Jackson, Michigan, Kalamazoo, Michigan. I've been going to Detroit. And those all end up being 500 miles for the night. And I try to let Dawn know because that means I'm going to be getting home later than if I was to come straight home from Indy. If I was to come straight home from Indy, I would be back to Fremont about 6:30, maybe 7 o'clock in the morning. When I go to Jackson or Kalamazoo, especially Detroit, because Detroit's so far from Indy, there's times that there was one day last week I didn't walk in the house until 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I mean, I never know in the morning what time he's going to get back. I mean, for sure. Because then sometimes, of course, he has meetings a lot at work.
Yeah.
They have to watch videos a lot. So that takes up anywhere from a half an hour to an hour of his time. And he has to stay there for that after he's done running and those kind of things. So.
And one of the turtles just jumped back in the water. I think he said, yep, it's too hot. Going back in.
Yeah, it's getting hot out here.
The
breeze is cut back. It's not as breezy as it was.
I'll be wearing shorts.
Yeah, you're probably going to be wearing shorts tonight. That's for sure. So, yeah, guys, I think we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you guys for joining us. I will be on tonight. I haven't put up the link because I did these banana breads and it takes longer. So it's going to take longer before I can jump back into invoicing. But very soon they should be done. And so then I'm going to get them right out to the freezer and get them all chilled out. And then I will get right back to the invoicing. So tonight, I just want to tell you, it might be later when you get your invoice. I'll just let you know that now, because I had this little situation with the banana bread. But it happens sometimes. It's happened a couple other times that we've had to do it, where we've had to bake the bread right on invoicing day. So it's not like it's a new thing per se, because deflation happens when I'm busy running around the house doing other things. And then, like I said, I didn't definitely make sure I checked how long that the banana bread inflated, because it's got to stay inflated for a while before you can cut that heat. Otherwise, that's exactly what happens. It deflates and it doesn't get done all the way. So I'm making sure it's getting done today. So you may get your invoices later, but they will get done.
TJ just come in.
Hey, TJ, I just was telling everybody your banana bread right now is in the oven, mister. So your invoices today are going to be later. Normally they're done in the afternoon. It might not be until tonight. I had a deflation issue yesterday. I did the banana breads yesterday, but I cut the heat too quick and they deflated and because they weren't done completely. I thought that if I let them set in the oven with the heat still going on in there, that they would get done, but I didn't calculate that too well. So today, they are currently right now in the oven. They will be ultra fresh, but I will be invoicing you guys probably tonight, everybody. So be looking for that. Hi, Daisha. Thank you guys for being here. I sure do appreciate it. Yes, yeah, you were just going to ask about the invoice. Yeah, because today started off rough with we had to go to the store first and get more ingredients, the berries and the different things, and remake them. That is why the invoices won't. I've got to have them done completely, and not only done, but then as soon as they get done, I have to have them cool down in the freezer, and then I can do the invoicing because I've got to weigh them in your packages, your boxes, and all that, and pack them. So, but they are as fresh as you can get them. I can tell you that. And oh wow, TJ, I bet you're glad to be home. And I appreciate all the banana orders, guys. It was so amazing. I think this week was one of my biggest weeks as far as selling the banana bread. So thank you, thank you. I'm so glad you like them, guys. And I'm gonna be baking other things. It's just right now we've had our hands full with the vehicles being worked on and cats going to the vet and things like that has kind of taken precedence over me doing any more baking currently other than the banana breads. But yes, I will be, for those that want to know, I will be back to where I'm baking other things as well. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, your anniversary tomorrow. Well, how cool is that? Happy early anniversary, guys. That's so cool. So are you guys going out to eat, or are you guys going to have a special night at home, or what are you guys thinking? That's awesome. Yeah, we're just out here enjoying the view and just taking a sit down before we're going to go back in the house, though, and I'm going to check on the banana breads and see if
I'm going to pass out.
they're done. And Bob's going to go to bed, so movie for sure, most likely dinner. Awesome. That's a great, that would be a great
When was the last time
anniversary.
we went to a movie?
I know, that's why I'm saying that would be a great anniversary
I don't
day.
remember.
Yeah, I mean, we have not, years, plural. I can tell you that. But guys, I'm gonna.
Why is Bob fishing that pond? Actually, TJ, what that is, well, you're looking at, this is a channel. We live on a lake called Fish Lake. It's a 254-acre lake, and we live at the very end of the channel. And every year, we get this stupid algae right here at the end of the.
Yeah, it doesn't clear off till the end of fall.
Once you go down to the end of the channel, you're in big open water. So, one of these days I'll have my fishing boat here, and I'll have to
He'll be doing
do a
some
live
videos
on my channel
Yeah,
and take you guys out on the lake.
he'll definitely want to do some fishing videos. So, but yeah, with that, guys, I'm gonna sign off here. I gotta get going, and I've got chores to do along with invoicing and all the stuff, guys. Monday is what I call my workhorse day. I literally am working from the time I wake up to the time I lay down at night. This is probably the first time in eons I've actually, I mean, months that I've actually taken a break in between invoicing, but it's only because I had to, because the banana bread isn't quite done. But yeah, we're gonna see you guys later. We'll put on a show tonight, and Bob's going to work tonight, and we'll see what we could do. But thank you guys for coming by and, hanging out with us while we're sitting on the deck here, enjoying our propel. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Okay. And let me take my phone out and I'll see if I can give you, let me do a close. You're seeing our deck here. I'm going to go around, see if I can give you a closer look at the logs. But the turtles have come out on the logs. Oh, they jumped off.
Yeah.
Doggone it.
I think it's too hot for them.
Well, they're no longer on the logs, but usually, I mean, you get 30 to 40 turtles on all the different parts of the logs. And, but yeah, eventually our neighbor wants to clear out these logs with the help of Bob and hopefully some other neighbors. So hopefully that gets done this summer so that we can actually get a boat through here. That's the goal. But anyway,
Ask him what the flower is.
oh yeah, Bob wanted me to show you. We'll go to the side of our house, guys. I'm going to show you this flower. I don't know what this flower is. It was planted here when we moved. It's purple. It's very pretty. It's not a lily, I don't think, but it's beautiful, and it's on the side of our house. And they've got a post so it can, grow up the post here, and it's very beautiful. But we don't know what the flower is, and if you guys know, let us know. But it's like a royal purple. And I'm not sure what flower this is, but beautiful.
It's not coming up yet.
There we go. The screen went black. Not sure why. But anyway, that is the flowers, and we don't know what it is. We got a couple hostas around the house too, but we know what those are. Guys, I'm going to sign off and love you guys, and I'll see you later.